So, obviously, you had a chance there to see me just kind of mess around with my stuff, taking a look at things. Definitely wanted to welcome you to Digit Spin Crypto. So, we're just going to chat tonight. I had a couple of things that I wanted to talk about, mainly Electroneum, Loki, and WebDollar. So, hopefully, we'll be able to get to them all. Let's bring up the basics first and do a recap for today. All right. Okay, Mr. Bean, you all ready too? Yeah, he's there. He's definitely there. All right, Mr. Bean. Okay, wanted to say hello. So today I just wanted to talk about what we got going on. Obviously, there was a lot of excitement in the markets today. Bitcoin being over 7,000 was pretty exciting. Now, there was a whole lot of really spectacular news that came out, and I have a feeling that pushed everything up. And, of course, you had an inverted head and shoulders, so people were hoping that it would happen and the price would be skyrocketing today. The big question is whether it's going to continue. And so far, everything is still in a positive mode. If we take a look, let's get a close-up. And the reason why I capture and I take a look at Bitcoin, because it really kind of drives everything else, just to get an overview. So let's take a look at our 1 month. So you can see the jump today was pretty spectacular. I mean, we're over, what, $1,200 in a day? That's significant. And it's not the type of thing you want to see skyrocket in one day. You'd like to have a nice, steady climb. Because you know when you have that swing up, it definitely follows with a swing back down. So it's a tough call when things like that happen. Hey, so I see Andy is out there. How you doing, Andy? Good to see you join the show. Appreciate you chiming in. So, again, this is great news, and it's something that we want to see happen. You got a climb of 8%. So let's see how that translated to Electroneum. So Electroneum followed suit at 7%. That's what we expect. And, the big deal is that we really want to see Electroneum outperform Bitcoin, because that's where it's going to start to gain its momentum. The problem that I really see is things like this. And at 500, it's a half a $1,000,000 worth of volume across all of the coins. And if we take a look at where these coins are being, let's see if we can blow this up a little bit, where the volume is. Again, Cryptopia and KuCoin, take the number one. Cryptos has been doing a lot of volume, but today it's been down. These numbers are small. I'm going to be honest with you. These are small. I'm not exactly sure why Electroneum, in comparison to its brother in coin, isn't getting the volume. And it tends to me that the Electroneum folks that are invested really hold on to their coins. So the only ones that are getting sold are only the ones that are being generated on a daily basis from mining operations. And it appears to me that everybody's really just holding on to them. So that's a testament to the Electroneum community, that once they get them, they rarely sell them to get rid of them. So they're hodling them. I hope that you like the new microphone. I'm gonna time out there for a second. I got a new microphone. Let's switch cameras here. I got a new microphone, and I'm hoping that the clarity of the volume is a lot better than it was in the past, and that the audio is coming across better. This one is more of a directional, and it comes directly towards me, and obviously doesn't pick up the background noise as much. That background noise that you hear is I got 2 or 3 machines running, mining on the side, and their fans obviously make some noise, even though they're a distance away. The room carries, and that volume. So I'm hoping that the audio definitely sounds better today, and everything will perform in the way it's supposed to. So that's a good bonus. So let's get back to what we were talking about. Sorry about the interruption. Just wanted to tell you about that. I know. Thank you. It's okay. So my biggest thing, the only way I can analyze this is that the folks that have them are just not selling them. And so there's a lot that's being captured. And going back to my comment, it really seems that most of it is really, just coins that are being generated, that are being sold. I really have no other explanation. And I'm going to show you some comparison on the volume and to its brother in coin. Let's take a quick look at the chat and see what's out there. So we'll start off at the beginning there. So we got Andy, Sergeant of the Marines. How you doing there? What's up? Sergeant, he's looking for Electroneum to go to the moon soon. So I'm in agreement with him. I'm hoping that we'll see some nice action, especially if this rise of tide keeps going and takes everybody with it. It would be pretty nice to see Electroneum pick up some pace there. Let's keep going here. We got Magic Gray, 99 cent. Good to see you. We got the Pulse. And the Pulse says, God bless you and your family. And that's really generous of you in your thoughts. And I appreciate your blessing. And I'm thankful for a lot these days. My days go better than I deserve most of the time. So I appreciate that, Pulse. Michael thinks that they need to be listed on HitBTC and Binance. That definitely would help, having it available. Nobody can force somebody to sit there and type it down on the screen, hit their keyboard and press purchase. That isn't going to happen. But if it's in front of them and they see this, they can look into it and maybe making it available. If somebody wants Electroneum, they're going to find a way to get it. You did, and I did. And the fact of the matter is that if you wanted it, you'd get it, no matter where it's located. So just putting it on those exchanges doesn't guarantee anything, and I need to make sure everybody understands that. I watch a lot of the Telegram channels and all the different websites, and when this hit BTC, when all this, you guys have to understand that it makes it accessible. But where that additional volume that can be picked up is for folks that now see it. There are people that look for new coins on the exchange, and they might have their favorite. I bet you everyone out there has at least 2 exchanges that they talk to. I'd say more than 50 or 60% of you. Tell me in the comments. Or you have one exchange, or you guys have more than one? Let me know, because I don't believe that everybody's using just one exchange, and sometimes it is too daunting and too much trouble to go and do that. But if you wanted it, you'd go get it. All right, no matter what. I did that, and I'm sure you guys did too. So back to my point is that with it being conveniently in front of them, it's a sense of marketing. They can take a look into it, and maybe they'll add it to their collection. It becomes an add-on product for them to invest into. So that helps raise volume. But You know, it's there are other factors when it comes to the volume. Let's go back to the screen here. So Matthew's telling me that the audio sounds a lot better. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that the audio is better. So that's good stuff. The Pulse wants to know where Mr. Bean is. I don't know where Mr. Bean is. He's still trying to figure things out over here. So, okay. So, Andy's asking me a question. Let's put that on the screen. Did you hear about the news of Cryptos and Coinex merging to form one large exchange, Liquid? ETN will be on it as it's listed on Cryptos. So at least I would hope so. I would tend to think that they would merge the coins from both environments. Now, when you do a buyout and you're merging companies together, it takes some time, so don't expect anything to be instant. There's a lot of tech, and they have two different types of systems. And what will happen, I mean, if I was the CIO, I would evaluate which environment performs better and works better. I would move everything from the lesser grade environment to the newer grade environment. And that's going to take time because there's going to be coins missing, so they'll have to duplicate that. They've got to now move all of the assets and the values. This is pretty significant, and you don't want to take down the system. So your other option is to build a third system or to clone that and bring it all together, get it running, and then you invisibly switch it to the secondary system. But you know, and then once you have that running and you've got everything merged, then you can go build what you want it to be, or continue to upgrade the environment. Yeah, you know, both of them are decent exchanges. I hope that you know, their success is good, and Electroneum is included with the others. And you know, every exchange, if you take a look, I mean, when I first started buying Electroneum, you know, you had Cryptopia. That was it. You know, if you wanted to buy, you went there. It's as simple as that. So the progress that's been made in such a short period of time, and you have to remember, you know, 5 months is a short period of time. You can't expect a whole lot in 5 months in a in a development environment. But you know, there's been a lot of great sites, exchanges that have been added. CryptoMate, I haven't noticed that one before, so that's a positive thing. That one's kind of relatively new, but you know, these are all good exchanges. So you know, hopefully we'll see some more volume. We've got to have that, and the reason is that without that volume, the price isn't going to go up. If there's no demand, you're not going to have significant price increases. All you're going to see is the replication of the value of Bitcoin carrying it instead of it carrying itself. And these things will happen as time goes along, and more people get to know Electroneum, understand how warm and fuzzy it is, and you know, it makes it to their list of coins to want to hold. So that will be important. Let's put a little background music on, and we'll continue. We're going to go into the biggest gainers and losers just real quick, and then I'll go back to the chat. Clearly, there's so many coins, but you take a look at some of these coins, you know, things that are just off the wall, you know, doing as much as Electroneum. You know, it's like I said, it comes back to where I think just the Electroneum holders are just holding the coins and not selling them. Okay. So ones on here that kind of strike me good. Salt, the lending platform, 35%. Congratulations to you if you have that. One that I'm just recently getting involved in, so I'll let the cat out of the bag. It's called BitTube. This is another Monero code base. So it was cloned from that, and BitTube is a replacement for broadcast video, similar to what you're seeing here on YouTube. Let's take a look. Bank to the futures out there, 28%. Capacity, I think I still own a little capacity, just a little bit. But that's good to see, up 25%. One on here that I was surprised to see is still doing good is the Central Land. And I had owned some mana and thought that would be a pretty good thing for the future, where you have a virtual reality and you literally can purchase land in there and sell it and create a virtual economic system. But it's good to see that they're starting to make a comeback with some big gains today. The losers, there's really nothing on here that striked me except for credits, which was kind of surprised. They've been pretty popular in the general public, but they still lost 8% today, so that's not a good thing. Sumo Coin still on its downward spiral, and I'm going to talk to you about that when we take a look at the income for my ASIC miner and how that's doing. So let's go back here to the chat. Let's and take a look and see what we got. All right, liquid coin bean will help ETN liquidity. Coin Benet. I always keep calling it Coin Beanie. What's wrong with that? Where am I? Yeah. Thanks, Mr. Bean. On that. All right, that's great. Let's see what we have here. Matt's saying that he uses 3 different exchanges. So, that's an example of people using exchanges and using more than one. And if you needed something, you went and you found it and you added it to it. It was just as simple as that. Okay. Let's see. PS hit the like button. All right, he did. Finally cut the stream. All right, H-Bomb. There you go. Finally get the chance to see you on the stream. It's good to catch you there. All right. I want to just double check on our stream. Okay. Now, all right. So the smiley. I'm going to test you out. Your smiley face is supposed to go out here. So H-Bomb sent a smiley face. He. All right, good. I just wanted to make sure that way up there that the little icons were coming through. Again, we're still testing a lot of good stuff as we go forward. I'm glad that those things are happening. All right. We'll close that up. Now, let's take a look at our income, at our Bitcoin income on our ASIC miner. Now, as you all know, Digispin Crypto has one ASIC miner, and we're basically just running it solo in my office downstairs. So I'd like to just kind of show you what's going on. So for today, we're only bringing in about 980. It's down about 20 cents from yesterday, and along with the coin count of only being 793. It's still in that general range. It has not taken as big of a dip as I expected it would. I thought the income would come down pretty significantly. Now keep in mind, a week ago it was 1,100 coins and 1,300 coins. But I think it's pretty much stabilizing now in that 800 range. Once more ASICs start to be purchased by the community, we'll probably see that go down even further. But as of right now, we're doing good. Now, what I wanted to reference back to was this volume information. You take a look here, that $500,000. Now, obviously, we can't compare it to Monero. Monero obviously does a really good job and has plenty of people interested in it. But even things like Sumo Coin, who's down big today, is doing $1 million, twice as much as Electroneum. And that's probably because all the folks that are mining this, it was actually earning 20% more than Electroneum yesterday. You know, they've earned all these coins, and they're going to sell them out. And that's the reason why I think the Sumo coin dropped in price. Volume is up. Lots of coins being made. They're sold at a cheaper price. Then they go out the door. You know, even Bitcoin, you know, you're $6 million. So it's a good chunk. Now, the one that we were talking about before was BitTube. Now, BitTube cannot be done through an ASIC. It's a GPU only, and it's relatively new. But you know, they got 800,000 in trade, so that's pretty good. And so, if you're looking for new types of coins, and I wanted to talk to you about that today, some other coins to take a look at. BitTube is going to be one, and we'll probably do a show just on BitTube. I just want to introduce you to, you know, Electroneum's a stable coin. Loki is speculative. It's relatively new. We'll see if it, you know, can be successful in the market space. I would consider it a somewhat speculative coin, but at the same time, it has a pretty awesome team and is doing a pretty good job and has a lot of community support. So I think that there's a pretty good opportunity there. So if you have some GPUs, we're going to take a look at the Loki. And then we have WebDollar, which is a completely speculative. It could be worth absolutely nothing. It could turn out to you know, earn you some coins and turn into some dollars in the future. So if we have time, we'll put that in there and we'll take a look at that. Okay, regarding let's go back to that. Just the general chart of things. You know, to see a green, as everybody says, it's good news. Let's take a look down in the Monero. Where are we? They moved it on me. Let's see if I can find things. XMR, Kryptonite. So here we go. So this is our Monero community. And the size of the XMR is relative to the actual volume of sales and what have you. And Electroneum's still in good shape there. Most of those coins are also doing pretty well. There's a couple of losers for the day, but most of the coins are all in the higher green solution. So it's good for the Monero-based coins, and it's good for everybody in general. All right, let's take a quick look. Make sure I didn't miss anything on the chat for today right now. Tell you, a live show's a lot different than doing it recorded, so you can edit out a lot of good stuff. All right. Now, we got Rick Viper Moto. So that's good to see you in the show. Glad that you made it. Michael wants to know, when do you think Electroneum will start advertising? And that's a good question. You know, anything that I would say would be just, you know, really irrelevant. And, you know, just pulling it out of my back pocket. Having said that, it's still fun to speculate. So let's take a look at that. When do I think they'll start to advertise or get into the marketing ploy? Here's the thing. If I was Electroneum, there's a couple of things I would do right away, which is making sure I get press releases out to a lot of the larger news sites like Cointelegraph and Bitcoin.com and a few others, CoinDesk, to start getting the name, some name recognition, that there is news, that there's something going on. And I would kind of get that going on right away as things transpire. You know, they're looking for news to put on those sites, and you know, they'll scour through anything and take a look and see if they can make use of it. So you know, if you're able to get a hit and be listed on one of those news sites for a specific event, it's just always good. It's just good to have something positive in on these websites talking about Electroneum. It lets people know something's happening, whether or not they like the coin or buy the coin. It's still in their brain that something happened. All right. Now, as far as a full marketing push, it's my belief, and I'm not in marketing, and I'm not on I don't work for Electroneum, and my opinion is no better than yours or anybody else's, but I would probably not spend the bulk of push until we start to see a market up gain. You can push a lot in certain segments. You can push a lot, and you're just not going to see anything happen because there's nobody new. It's if Bitcoin goes down, it's just going to drag everything down. So while things are going up, that's the time. If we start to get some kind of a positive step ladder, and I'm not looking for a spike. That's not a bull run. That's a spike, and as soon as it spikes, it comes back down, and you don't know where it's going to go from there. You want to see a nice progressive increase in the Bitcoin, and if those types of things start to happen, that's the time where you want to throw good news on top of other good news, and really start to do a push when that whole market turns around. So the answer to your question is that I'm hoping by the end of the year we'll start to see some turnaround, and we'll be able to start to see some good marketing going out there. Now that doesn't mean you don't do your partnerships and things get released and integrated and all that other good stuff, but just a straight out marketing, I would probably be my best guess, uneducated guess, and going from there. What are you going to do? Right, Mr. Bean? Yeah, see, he thinks the same thing. All right, let's take a look here. I think there were some more comments in the chat. All right. So, okay, H-Bomb has a couple more questions, or he'll do that. Versus coin. So, Michael's talking about Versus coin. I'll add it to my list of things to take a look at. I'll write that down right now. Got my pencil. Versus coin. I'll take a look into it and I'll give you my opinion on that. If it's CPU only, that's the same type of thing as WebDollar. And I happen to think that the WebDollar project, getting in now, you're really, it's like playing with Bitcoin in 2009. I mean, you're really at the very beginning of that whole entire project, and it's a CPU only. So I like those types of coins because those are the only ones that you're going to be able to scoop up big bags, and over that 4, 5, 6 years may turn into something. And if you can find a couple of those projects, scoop up some coins, and in 6 years one of them hits it, you could see amazing benefits from that. So those are the types of things that I look for, because I'm never going to be able to capture any type of quantity of Bitcoin that's going to turn around and make the benefits that you would see with a speculative coin. The good news is that I'm sure it's going to be a lot more money than I'll make in a bank, right? Yeah, exactly. So let's take a look at that. All right. H-Bomb. Yes, H-Bomb, I did talk about the $100 deal, and I'll just put that up real quick. He was wondering if I answered the question already about the decimal places and how it would affect ETN if it hit $100. And I hope I'm wrong. Truly, I do. But I don't think in the immediate future we're going to have to worry about that problem. I personally don't see Electroneum hitting $100 in the immediate future whatsoever. you know, I like to be realistic, comparing the dollars that are available, what it's going to get shared across, because we're not the only coin that's being purchased, Electroneum, and the reality of the matter. You know, even if you put $1 trillion in, it's going to get split across all these different coins. It's only going to lift so much. So I don't think that we're going to have to worry about that. Now, you know, 10 years from now, you know, maybe, and we'll worry about it then. Because it'll be a good problem to have. So I could care less. I could care less if it said 0.01 is $1 and the smallest amount I could spend was $1. Then we'll deal with it then, because you know what? I'm sure you and me and everybody else here will be able to throw dollars around because we'll have so many of them at that point. Chris Knight, how you doing? Chris, good to see you. Chris Knight's asking, when do you think Electroneum will have their mobile payment set up? Or halfway through July. So, as you know, the mobile payment system, Electroneum's been playing with, getting it together. They created an alpha originally to kind of get things working. It was under wraps. Basically, they got it to a point where they feel, and that's what a beta version. You have your alpha while you're developing your beta. Means that you really feel that the product is going to perform the way it's supposed to. You think you got just about everything in place. You feel that it works the way it's supposed to with little to no bugs. And you call that a beta. And so basically they took applications for the beta, right, Mr. Bean? Yeah. Yeah, he knows. And with those applications, they're going to release the ability to have the screen. You know, they'll probably have some hardware that you'll be able to secure, whether there's a cost to it or not. I don't know. There'll be a tablet or a pad version that you'll also probably be able to run. And then, of course, the API. They're probably going to release that shortly once they've kind of sorted through everything. I would imagine it'll take a few more weeks before they kind of get it together, and because I know that they want to go live with it in September, so I would tend to think that you know, we're going to need at least 4 weeks to play with it. So that, you know, you're looking sometime in August that, you know, we've got to have this in our hand to play with, to test out, or you really can't release it in September then, can you? So it'll either get pushed back or not. So I'm hoping that there's at least 4 weeks to play with it, and I'm looking forward to it. I did try to I did apply for the the payment system, the beta. But, you know, not everybody's going to get it. If they select, you know, 25, 50 people, maybe they get started. I don't know. I don't even know what the number is. I'm pulling that out of my shirt pocket. I can't imagine more than a few hundred to do testing. But, you know, there are smarter people than me at Electroneum that know the answer to that, and I'm sure they'll tell us eventually. All right. Let's come back up here, the cryptos and Electroneum. All right. It's since we're doing some question and answering, I'll just keep with the question and answers for now. Let's see what else we got here. Paul. So we got so Paul on here, he said he finally found a YouTuber who shares his taste in hats. So yeah, I got my fedora going on there. It's I have a whole bunch of them. I've kind of chosen the light tan one to be my my show icon. So I keep it here on the desk and pop it on every time I I do a broadcast. I guess it'll end up being part of the brand. Um, but I usually wear a lot of cowboy hats, and I've been liking these fedoras down here where I'm in the southeast. It's it's always so hot and everything. And this kind of keeps it off, and it's not too obtrusive, and adds a little flavor. It's kind of funny too because you can be the detective. Ma'am, can you tell me where you were on the July 5th at 8 o'clock? Or you can end up being the newspaper guy and, hey, Johnny, what's the news? Did you see Superman? So you can mess around with it. I get a kick out of it. All right. So we got Mars out there. Let's see what Mars has to say. He says, hey, Dino, great live stream. How do you think the price volatility issue may be to deter mobile operators from joining the Electroneum business? They prefer Electroneum stable to use as a payment. Well, Electroneum has been pretty stable. It's pretty stable, right around that 1 cent mark recently. There's not enough history. Listen, any business partner that's going to be tapping into Electroneum, to include, if they don't understand the volatility in the crypto space as a whole, they obviously need to go back and understand their business better. All right, so they know by partnering up with somebody in the crypto space, volatility is part of the attraction and part of the reality of life when it comes to crypto. It won't be for many, many years. Once you have so much money, it's the exact same thing that happened where Electroneum had their hash rate, and people would go into nice hash and raise it up and down and messed everything up. All right, that's kind of where all crypto is right now. It's really easy for people to throw $50 million, $10 million in and move things and make the market go up and crash it and do things. Now, once it's matured and we have ETFs and it becomes more widespread and software is connected into it without the user even knowing it, it'll be just like the Electroneum blockchain, where now we're on ASICs and now our hash rate's way up here. And that same $10 million now is just a little bump. All right? It can't manipulate anymore because there's just, it's like peeing into the ocean. You're not going to raise the sea level. All right? It ain't going to happen. There's just too much out there. When we have that much, as far as capital into the system, it'll stabilize all on its own. All right? I hope you're reading me and understanding what I'm saying here. All right? We are in the beginning, and when you're in the beginning, it's going to be volatile. And the reason is that just what I was telling you, just like the hash rates, that same money can move mountains, but up here it's literally an anthill. All right, so I hope that kind of gives you an idea of what we want to look for in the future and how that will stabilize things. So people that are going to be connecting with Electroneum are not worried about is it going to be volatile right now. What they want to do is they want to get in now so that they have technologies in place for the wave of customers that they're seeing that will happen right now. There's a little swell out in the ocean. All right, in another 5 years, you're going to see a tsunami of people that are going to be coming into the space, whether they know it or not, because whether they're using their application and it's just interacting with the blockchain, or they're moving money around transparently to themselves. And that's how you know that we're really got everything working good, when it's almost basically transparent to a person. All they know is, yeah, I'm using crypto. I don't know how it works. It's just I go like this and it works. It's same thing with your phone. I have no idea how it's connecting from here to my wife. I just want to push the buttons and voila, I'm talking to my wife. All right. I don't need to know the technology that's behind it. and that's when things will change. So we're the pioneers. We're the people that are going to get the arrow shot in our hats. But just like the 49ers, when they rushed out there to scoop up the gold, they made lots of money doing it, and they opened up new frontiers, and it's what it's about. Everything is always that way. Okay. H-Bomb is asking a question here. My question is based on your answer. What is the highest amount Electroneum could reach in price? Just out of curiosity. I don't know. I'm not, unfortunately, I don't own a crystal ball, so I can't tell you how much it's going to go to. Now, having said that, I can take, some educated guesses of where I personally, in my personal opinion, hope to see it maybe sometime. You got guys out there calling for $70,000 a coin. Is it going to hit $70,000 a coin? No, it's not going to hit $70,000 a coin in your lifetime. I don't see. I have to call that the $70,000 a coin is that's a no go. That's not something that we're going to see. All right. In the 12-month period, I would be thrilled if we see that 5 cents back to that 12-cent range. That would be exciting and wonderful. That's a 10 times gain. Anything more than that would be awesome. Okay. Do I feel that it has potential to hit that 25 cent thing again, that 25 cent? It's been there already. It absolutely, at some point, will hit the 20%, the 20 cent range again. No doubt in my mind. It's been there once. It can do it again. There's no doubt that at some point we're going to see that 20 cent range. Where would I like it to be? I'm hoping, in the future, as we go along, and I'm talking over a year, or greater than a year. I'm hoping at some point, if we can hit that dollar range, I think that is a reasonable high number to try to see Electroneum strive for. If it's able to blow past that, then we're all going to be sipping champagne and having a good time, and you can say, "See, I told you it would do better than $1." But I'd like to see $1 at 100 times gain would be great. Some of these coins, you figure if people, were buying it at half a penny, in the release. The Bitcoin had an opportunity to go thousands of times because it was the first one. And there's just so many coins out there that thinking you're going to see 1,000, 10,000 gain is as a altcoin, I don't feel is realistic. I just don't feel it realistic. You're not going to see $1,000 Electroneum. That's just not going to be something in my lifetime. Now I'm an old guy, so I maybe got 20 years left. I probably won't see that. But that doesn't mean Electroneum's not a good coin. It's a great coin, and even at $1, you're looking at 100 times gain. I mean, jeez, if that was to happen, that would be exciting. So sorry to be long-winded on that, but that's just my personal opinion. But who am I? I'm a nobody. So we got PA out there. Good to see you. I'm glad that you were able to join the live stream today. All right, so this is kind of a good question, PA. You put in there, how can we get Electroneum for cold storage, Treasure Ledger? All right. So I'm assuming you're saying, how can we get it into cold storage? As of right now, your only cold storage is going to be a paper wallet. and this is going to require a little dexterity on your part to get it right. Otherwise, you're going to be looking like this guy right here if you don't get it right, because you're going to be going, where is all my money? And, you know, Mr. Bean's basically going to say, it's gone. So, it's not that hard of a process, but you got to have a little dexterity in your hands. There are some videos on YouTube that go through it. I know, if I'm not mistaken, Crypto NWO had a nice video on how to make a cold storage for that. But it's a paper wallet. You offload it, create an address, and then this way you can transfer your Electroneum to the paper wallet. Now what that does, it's not actually going to a wallet. Basically, your coins are stored on this chain. As the chain's going along, there's entries for you. Okay? So by putting in your keys, it scans all of the blockchain, adds up your entries, and then gives you a total of how much you have available to yourself. Okay? So a paper wallet is just really putting your identification and your key and printing it out on a piece of paper. So with that information, you can type it in and it'll scan and tell you how much is assigned to that number that's on that paper wallet. The advantage to the paper wallet is that no hacker can reach through your computer screen and steal your printout. Okay, they can get a hold of what you're typing. They can put in a key responder and capture every key you're typing. They can take a picture of the screen while you're working. All right, but they can't take a picture of a piece of paper that you have stuffed in your pocket. All right, ain't gonna happen. So that's why it's considered a cold storage. So that's really your only choice. Now, the second part of your question here, Trezor and Ledger. If I was Electroneum, I would absolutely find a way as soon as possible to be able to add Ledger support. Putting your coins on the Electroneum site, it appears to be reasonably secure, but it's out there and it can be somebody, not that they can hack the Electroneum, they have some good people, you know, helping them with that, and I'm sure have good practices to secure the information. But your personal phone and your information can be hacked. You know, somebody can call up. What happens is they'll call up AT&T or Verizon, and they'll say, "Hey, Verizon, you know, my name is Digit Spin, and I need you to send me a SIM card. Somehow my dog ate it, and I need to put it in my phone." And they convince the Verizon people to send them a replica of your SIM card. Now, once they have that, some of the applications, these phones are smart. They know what applications you have on it because you synced it and everything, and it'll start to download everything you have on your phone over to them. Okay? Now they can start accessing your mail and information, copy your two-factor authentication. It's a problem. All right? So one thing you do want to do, if you're in the crypto space and you probably have more than $1,000, and I'm going to throw that out there. If you have more than $1,000, I would reach out to your carrier service and have them put in your account at the top and pin it in the messages that you're not to make modifications to my phone or send a duplicate SIM card without me presenting physical ID at the local store. Now, some companies, some carriers, they may not have local stores. But if you're dealing with Verizon, AT&T, some of the other good guys, you can, and you can go down. Now, it's a pain. Let's start off with it. It's definitely a pain, because you have to now go to the store with your ID and say, "Smile, that's me right here. That's me right here. See, that I am the right person, and that I have the right to get a SIM card, because they're not going to show your ID and show up at a store with your ID, okay, and your information. So that will clearly help stop one of the biggest ways to steal your stuff. All right, so keep that in mind, and go that route to secure your phone. Now, with the ledger, I have a ledger. It's relatively empty, but it's still a pretty cool thing to have. And if I was Electroneum, it gives you some gravitas to have a wallet for cold storage to put your Electroneum in that can be put on the ledger. It's definitely something that I would put at the top of my list if Electroneum was my responsibility. It helps secure your users' funds. It gives you more gravitas in the community, that you take seriously things of securing the information. And I'm not saying that the Electroneum site and their setup is not good. That's irrelevant. It could be the best out there, and I think it's an awesome setup and an awesome piece of software that they have put in place with their wallet. But you're not gonna keep, thousands and thousands or hundreds of thousands of coins in your Electroneum wallet. I would never do it on the Electroneum site. So I have to find a place to put it on a paper wallet. And I'm sorry I'm taking time on this, but I really this particular question is important to me, and it's disappointing to me that I don't have anything but a paper wallet. And I can do a paper wallet. I've been in computers for 30 years. There's not a problem for me. If you take your time and do a little reading, watch a couple of videos, you too will be able to do it. But the average Joe that they're going to be trying to push this towards, and if they want to start to invest, they're going to want to keep their coins secured without having to put it on a piece of paper. They're going to want that. I would invest whatever money is necessary to make that happen if it was my choice. But it's not my choice, and who am I? I'm a nobody. So it doesn't matter what I think. Let's go back to our questions. I have the questions on a tablet here. See this here? And so I don't know if you can see it, but I keep the little tablet, and basically the tablet, covering my face there. The tablet will capture all of the chat messages, and it goes up onto here, and I get a list, and then I can pick the question that I want and tell it to send it, and it sends it over to the Digispan. So the moral story is, every once in a while the tablet shuts itself off. I got to restart it, so sorry about that. All right. So all right, so Michael's asking about this gig economy site. What exactly is a gig economy website that they want to launch in Q3? I don't have a bullet point outline of what exactly they're trying to create. All right. What I will tell you, how I can answer that question, is that when you're creating a gig economy site, basically what you're trying to do is create like a Craigslist or a site where I can put up that I have such and such skills and capabilities. I can make you, I'm a photographer and I can do weddings. I want to make your wedding the best that you've ever seen in your memories, because after the whole event is over, all you're going to have are the pictures. You're going to have my pictures, and voila. So I create myself a website or an entry. I do wedding photography, and I charge 10,000 Electroneum. Okay, so you put your service out there. So now people can go search for a gig, being a gig meaning a one-time job. Could be a handyman. Come paint. I'll paint any fence. What's that? Earl Scheib. Now I'm going to show my age. When I was young, there used to be a guy on TV and he'd be like, "My name is Earl Scheib. My name's Earl Scheib. I'll paint any car for $99.95." You know, and the guy would come out on the TV and basically offer that. So, you know, maybe it's I'll paint any fence for $99, you know, in your backyard. And again, you put that out there. So you can then go to that and say you want to hire this person. You can put up a deposit. Maybe it's a 50% or 25%, whatever the arrangements are. And then the person can start the job. When it's finished or as you progress, you can release the funds to the person. They get a little bit more. When you do the next 25%, I'll pay you the next 25%. You did the job, it's painted, that's fine. And then the last percentage you pay when you clean up and you pick up your paint cans. And you wash my dog because you painted him white, and so now I need all that paint washed off my dog there. So you get those types of things, and then you can release the last 100 coins. So that's kind of what a gig economy is going to be. You're going to probably see it start off mainly in technology gigs. You know, I'll build you a website. I'll make you a video intro for, right now, if it's $10 per thousand, so maybe you want to make $100. So it would be 10,000 Electroneum, and I'll make you a video intro for your website or something like that. So that's what that's going to be. And then you can also have employee purchasers of services say, hey, you know, I need somebody to fill the air in my tires. I'll pay 500 Electroneum if you come out here and you fill my tires up with air or nitrogen or whatever you want to do. And somebody who can perform that service can do the same thing. So this gets people the ability to have a job, do a service, get paid in Electroneum, all right, where they can now collect that and then use it in the stores that are going to, and services that are going to be using the system, the cash register system, payment processing system, to spend the money they earned. So basically it completes a complete life cycle of services, of earning and spending, what they call the velocity of money, where it can move around, and the person who then gets the Electroneum then takes it and maybe pays an employee or uses it for something else. The last thing, that velocity of money is where I send money to you, and you send Electroneum and Electroneum and Electroneum, and it goes back and forth. You don't want it to go to the bank and get cashed out, and because then somebody's got to put the money back in, cash it back in to bring it back into the system. You want it circulating. When you see money circulating, that's how you know things are really doing well, because that means you're transferring money. So I hope I answered your question, and I did a good job. I'm sure you thought that I did all right. So Mr. Bean thinks, yeah, you did a great job. Say, so even Mr. Bean thinks I did a good job. So hopefully I answered your question. All right. All right. So H-Bomb, he was speaking of my hat. He was going to ask if I was in the mob. I could picture you in the backyard of a mansion reading the paper and drinking coffee. Hey, I was from New York. I moved down to the southeast because I lived in New York. And I had my cousin Tony. He'd call me up. I'd pick up the phone. I'd say, hey, Tony, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get it together. I'm going to send a couple of salespeople over to talk to you. And we go that direction. But I left New York many years ago, so the accent kind of stays with me. I guess my Greek and Czechoslovakian heritage, kind of Italian heritage, kind of sticks there in the face. No mobs. I'm just a poor slob like everybody else, trying to, like a squirrel trying to get a nut each day, pay the bills. try to enjoy life just like everybody else. And I do that by playing around with technology. And this is a technology that's a lot of fun to me. Okay. Why do people? All right, let's see. I didn't get a chance to read this question here, so I'm going to read it on the screen now. Why do people cheer for just one coin when we need a bunch of coins to make crypto a big deal? And a lot of the cryptos will be need to be used in different countries and different functions. Well, I like Electroneum. It's one of my my favorites. But yeah, I have a lot of different favorites, and I doubt there's anybody out there that has just purchased Electroneum and that's all they've purchased, because I know that they purchased Bitcoin because they couldn't have got the Electroneum without the darn Bitcoin. So you have some Bitcoin, all right. Yeah, your point is right on target. Electroneum's great, and it'll be a nice store of value that'll be spendable, earnable. These guys, I think, have a great plan to take the coin. But there's a lot more stuff out there. There's infrastructure coins. There's interest-specifically coins. There's going to be coins that are going to come out that are going to be, completely just about the security itself. Like I was mentioning, stocks will go away. You will purchase crypto coins, which will represent the same thing as a share of stock. But there's no reason to keep it on a piece of paper anymore and deal with a broker. You'll be able to do 24 hours a day by yourself, anywhere in the world, be able to go out there and invest in an organization and actually have an asset of that company. And probably within 5 years, you'll see that happen. So yeah, there's plenty of coins, plenty of things to invest in, plenty of different projects. So I think just about everybody has plenty of projects that they like to work on. Okay. Let's see. Rick is talking about you can buy enough Electroneum, 50 cents to 80 cents USD cent, it will reach your financial goal. Yeah, if the people buy enough Electroneum, right, that's where we want to see the pricing go. H-Bomb says, thanks. Okay, I'm not sure what this one is. Let's take a look at it on the screen. If Monero is on Trezor, can they implement Electroneum because they are both kryptonite? Okay. Just because it's Monero doesn't mean Electroneum can easily go up to Electroneum. Having said that, they are clearly cousins, and it depends on who wrote the code. If it's not open sourced, you're on your own. And if the people at Trezor are doing, see, here's the thing. Like if you have a ledger, you have the ledger company themselves, all right? And they have a roadmap, and they actually will write the interface, the GUI interface that will talk. All right. Now there are open source ones that will write their own interfaces. For example, let's go with Neo. Okay. So if you own some Neo, you can get the City of Zion Neon wallet. Now that was written by a third party, but they put all the hooks and bells and whistles so that you can hook up your ledger and press go, and the Neon wallet will participate and get you your information. Now, obviously, Ledger themselves will write interfaces, and so they pick coins that they want to see or think that there's a value for to produce to make their product more robust, so that they can sell it to more. Now, who are they going to add to those? They're going to add, if they see lots of users, they're going to put on their list, hey, let's add this because there's a million users, and we have the ability to sell to 1 million more people our little hardware wallet. So they'll add those particular coins. You would think Electroneum would be up there because there's a lot of users, but there's also a second option, is that you can reach out to Ledger and cut them a check for whatever amount that you've negotiated, and they will put to the top of their list, or basically, or stuff into their list to manufacture the GUI interface so that you can use their product. So you either develop it yourself and have it as an offering that will work with it, or you let the Ledger people. And I'm sure Trezor works the same way. Now, if Trezor has created the Monero interface, it would not be that much trouble for them to clone it, make modifications to it, and re-release it for an Electroneum. I think the first one of them, whether or not Electroneum kind of makes that happen by forcing the issue with a check, or the first one of them to recognize that there's X amount of users on Electroneum and they have now the potential to sell 1 million more units, is wise. So, you know, if I was Electroneum and I didn't want to part with any money, I would damn sure as heck be sending them information telling them about how many users just love Electroneum and are dedicated and will want to store their Electroneum. And you have 1.9 million users that right now that can want to purchase one of these things. So add it to your list, I would suggest, and that would be a good answer there. I think naturally we'll see it happen. I would like somebody to force the issue on it, because I think that it definitely, and I know we talked about that already. Let's see, okay, so H-bomb's moving off. Okay, so we're in good shape. All right, let's take a look. What I wanted to talk about real quick, there was, if you have nothing to do and you want to look into a speculative coin, something that's relatively new, something that you have no idea if it's going to end up being worth any big amounts of dollars or what have you, something that you can mine. Whether or not you want to invest in it, that's your own decision on that. It is on CoinMarketCap. It is on exchanges. We could take a look here real quick. It's actually gone a lot further than I had thought it would in speed to these things. So you know, right now it's like at 30 cents. I know it was at 80 cents last month. So it has dropped. Let's take a look down here. It has dropped a pretty good amount. So what was it, 77, 84 cents when it was released. So the price is down. So that's why on these new coins, that's the reason why I don't usually purchase them right off the bat, because they usually take that dip. But mining them doesn't cost you anything but the electricity. So you're paying peanuts to manufacture them, and especially if you already have the equipment, and you collect them. And when they go back up, you'll do all right. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we're looking at a total of 150 million coins. So you know, it is more than Bitcoin, but it's still a small amount in the grand scheme of things when you're talking about coins with billions. All right, so it's not a whole lot of coins. The basic premise behind it, it's off the Monero code base, so it's a secure environment. But they've also added these master node type of thing. It's actually called a service node. The reason why it's going to be called a service node is that there's going to be what they call snaps that are available, basically service node applications. So they're going to create things like the first one is a messaging system that will literally use the decentralization of your information, so that your messaging is going to be completely private. Everything about it will be private. It's an interesting project. I threw a couple of GPUs on it to mine it and collect it. And if it turns into something pretty sharp or pretty good, I'll have a couple of coins, and we'll see what it does. But I think it's worth your effort to look into. Go to the website. Just check it out. It's Loki.network. Read up on it. See if it's something you want to mine. Most of these, like I said, these speculative things, I just mine. I don't purchase until I see things going up or something amazing about the project that really tickles your fancy and you want to purchase the coins themselves. But take a look through it. Put it in to be honest with you, I did put in a contact into these folks. I'm going to see if we can, matter of fact, I sent in a message into Josh here, who's in the marketing department, to see if we can get somebody on the channel to talk about the Loki coin and tell us why we should invest our electricity in mining it or purchasing it, and what's so special and spectacular about it. So hopefully they'll respond, and we'll be able to add them to one of our broadcasts in the future. Otherwise, they may just tell me to go pound sand, and they're out of luck. I'm out of luck. But either way, I still think you need to take a look at it and think about if that's something that's for you. Again, it's Kryptonite. It's GPU mineable. What I can tell you is that right now, at the moment, it's making, a good return on the coin. So even if you mined them and sold them to buy your Electroneum, you'll be able to do that as an option, since if you don't have an ASIC. Or you may just want to keep them because you may see the value in the project as you're going forward. Let's take a quick look, see if there's anything on the system. H-bomb's taken off. The RJ millions total supply coins. That's okay. So welcome to the channel there, the RJ. Glad to see you here. The only other one that is completely speculative, this could be completely worthless or not. A few years from now, it may, even if it's worth a penny, you can scoop up a lot of coins right now because it's so new that there's very little interest. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. There's very little quantity of folks that are mining it yet. Not so many people know about it yet. It hasn't gotten out there. There's a Romanian company, group of guys. Not a company, a group of guys. It's an open source project. It started from ground zero, sort of like Bitcoin, and that's the WebDollar. .io. Let's try that one again. And you basically just go to the site. Now, the reason why I thought this was a clever cryptocurrency, just like we were talking about before, there are different ones that can do different things. They've made this thing so simple that I feel that it'll be available to in reach of everybody. You basically just go to this website, and it'll automatically. You don't have to register. You don't have to put your name into anything. You don't have to put any hardware in your computer. You don't have to do anything. It'll automatically create a wallet for you. It automatically downloads basically a proof of proofs of work, and basically what it is, it's a small subset so that your web browser can start to mine, and it's based on CPU mining. It uses the Argon 2 algorithm, and that Argon 2 algorithm basically does a lot of interaction with the L3 cache that's in the processor. So that's one of the ways to slow down GPUs for mining it. So as of right now, it basically just works on GPU, excuse me, CPUs. Eventually, if this thing ever took off and it became something, I'm sure they're going to get challenged. You know, if it's worth money, somebody's going to find a way to to do things and find ways to get around that. But right now, when you try to replicate the Argon 2 on a GPU, it slows the GPU down to just about 1.2, 1.3 of the speed of a CPU. So there's not a real big advantage to it. Though the 20%, if the coin's worth $100, 20% is $20. So if it ever got to a penny or something like that, we'll have to see. But the only reason why I bring this to you is as follows. This is a chance to mine something that you can take a chance on. So if you have your computer and it's not doing anything, you can go to the website. It creates this wallet automatically. You'll see it. It'll start to mine. You can determine how much mining power you want to put into the piece, how many threads you want to use for your hashing power, and you can let it run. Now, I will tell you that they became extremely popular for speculative coin people, and there was a lot of folks mining it, and because it was becoming popular and the coins were selling over the counter, for a tenth of a penny, they got attacked, and people tried to take down the environment, and so their team, I know, had to respond and do some updates and what have you to respond. But that goes to show you that they're a threat. Nobody's going to attack them to shut them down, and if they didn't think that there was some value and that they were going places. So it's been an interesting project. I'm really keeping my eyes on it. We'll see if it turns into anything, but I think that there's definitely opportunity here. One of the biggest things about it is that it right now, if you go to the site, you're mining solo. So if you score a hit, you can earn 6,000 WEBDollars right off the bat. There were so many people on the system that they went to pools, and so that you could earn in a pool, because the hash rate was quite high. To find out how to do that, you would go to the Telegram group. If you have Telegram, go to Telegram, look up WebDollar, and in there you'll see there are URL links. If you want the link, just comment down below when this goes to video, and I'll add it to the click-through. But if you go to the Telegram group, you can get the link, because it's actually an experimental pool at the moment. They're probably going to release them next week. That's how new this thing is. And they have a lot of good plans. I don't know if it's going to be worth anything going in the future, but I have my mining rigs are sitting there. I have a couple of Celerons. I have some Ryzen 5s, some i3s in some of the rigs, and they're at what, 2% capacity. So while they're mining my Electroneum, or whatever coin I'm mining, used to be Electroneum, but now the ASIC does it. But as they're mining, I just open up the browser, leave it running in there, and let it get a couple of hits, and collect up as many as I can while the going is good in the beginning, because it's just like being at Bitcoin when it was in 2009. You can scoop up lots of them, and if it turns into something, good, that's great. If not, it didn't really cost me anything. The machine's running anyway. It's sitting there mining, and the GPU's doing its other business. It can't hurt. It's a lottery ticket. So you don't know if you're gonna get the 3 bells or the 3 lucky sevens on when you do the scratch off. So I let it just mine them and see what it brings in. So that's just for fun and entertainment. If you find that you have some extra CPU power, take a look at it. See if it's something that's worth your effort and time. But it's super easy. Really, anybody can do. Grandma can do it. Your cat can do it. Just about anybody. All you got to do is basically go to the website, and you're off to the races. So I'm gonna check the comments, the chat room, if there's anything there, and then if not, then we'll close it up. So let's take a look here. All right. Well, thanks for the WebDollar site. I'm getting let's bring this up here, Andy. So Andy says, "Wow, thanks for that WebDollar site. I'm getting 10,000 hashes." All right, so you got a pretty amazing machine there, obviously. Good for you. Congratulations. I get about two on my what is it? My Ryzen 5s. I get about 2,000 2 kilohash off the CPUs. And I'm going to tell you right now, because they had that attack and they had to fight it off and everything. The hash rate is low at the moment, and I've been able to, over the last day or two, been able to hit almost once a day 6,000 WebDollars, and it adds up to quite a lot. If you can hit once a day on it, so that's pretty good. So good luck with that. I hope you can score some, and then if it gets too much again, we can go back into the pools. But good luck with that, Andy. There you go. So Andy says he's been looking for a CPU mineable for ages. Yeah, and that's how I fell into this. The reason why I think this coin, from my perspective, is going to take off. It's super easy to use. And what they're doing is making it socially connectable. And what that means is that, I'm going to show you here. Since you're asking, Andy, I'm going to come down here. They are going to let you create your own pool. You'll be able to basically keep it on your machine and set up how much you want to charge for your pool fee, and you'll be able to create a pool, and then you can copy a URL link, and then you can send it out to your friends, family, or put it on a website and broadcast it, whatever. And if people click on that link, it'll connect to your machine as a pool, and now you have all that extra horsepower behind your hash rate that gets injected into the global hash rate, so you have a better chance. And then if you guys score the 6,000, it'll then distribute it to them according to what they made. Now you could set your pool fee, and then you can collect 2% or whatever on skim off the top. But the thing that they did is that you can also you can set up a finder's fee. So if people send out your link and they use it, you can get a percentage, an override percentage. So maybe you can make an extra 2 or 5% based on whatever they mine. So a referral fee, basically. So this is going to let people refer it to other people. It's just human nature. And while they're referring that, so that as they're mining, you'll be able to, let's say the 6,000, it'll take a little piece of it and give it to the referrals, and then the rest will get split up amongst them. But this is going to create a lot of social interaction where, refer to this and mine and let others to get involved in the WebDollars, and they have other plans and stuff like that. But just simple things like that, the ease of use and its ability to encroach into other people by getting them involved, and because you're not paying anything, you don't have to, it's not like you have to. It's not like they're asking for money, or this thing is it's its own blockchain. I think it's clever. I think it's clever. I'm hoping that they do well for themselves, and it's a unique piece. And being CPU mineable, I'm able to apply hardware that's just sitting around doing nothing anyway. So, all right, I'm going to consider that a closure for the night. I want to thank you. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. That's always fun. And we'll chat some more throughout the week. Sometimes we'll have something specific to chat about. Other times we'll just probably do a question and answer. So thanks for visiting, and I'll see you next time. Sorry we went too late tonight.